Hey guys, let's check out Vintage Vault 4 by UVI. This is an amazing collection of instruments. In fact, we have 36 different products and 255 different instruments. Way too much for one video, so I'm going to go through the new instruments added in Vintage Vault 4, and also we're gonna check out some random stuff. And let me know in the comments if you want to learn more about any of the products included in Vintage Vault 4, and I'll be happy to do so. And if you have any questions or anything at all, just join the Discord server that I have, the Plugin Academy. I'm gonna put the link in the description of this video, and let's get started. All the UVI instruments can be loaded either to the free UVI workstation or Falcon 2. And so if you have the UVI workstation, you can just double click here on the browser and you'll see the different instruments here, and then you just select something. Let's go with one of them, Super 7, and you'll see the categories, and then you go on and just double click and it will load. If you have Falcon, well, I guess you're not that new to UVI, then you'll see on the right bar here, you'll see all the different instruments and packages, whatever. And then again, very easy, just select the category, go inside, double click, and it will load. So what exactly the difference is between the free UVI workstation and Falcon? Well, Falcon is a complete system for music creation. It's not just a platform to run ready-made instruments. You can actually design your own instruments and your own synthesizers and your own sounds, and I have some tutorials about that in my channel, of course. So with that, let's have a quick look into the newly added instruments. The first one is Prime 8. Well, it's probably an 808, right? So let's get it started. And the idea here, if you're not familiar with the 808, is that we have the different instruments like bass drum, we have the snare, we have hats, we have other sounds. And what you do is you select here with this selector here, you select which instrument you want to design the pattern for. So you have the bass drum, and you can see that I have bass drum here on the 1 and the 7 and so on. I can add more, and then you go on and set the patterns for example, for the snare drums. Can do anything like that, and then you can just play. And of course we can solo and we can mute any of them. And that's the, well, very basic idea. So let's try some of the presets, double clicking inside here. And we have Prime 8 Plus, we have different categories. Let's try lo-fi, just the first one. One of the cool things about this and other instruments is that you can drag and drop the MIDI sequences. So I'm going to generate, and then going to just click this button here and drop it, and then you can actually go ahead and edit and do whatever you want with that. So it's pretty cool, very easy to use, and that's, you know, very, very important because you not always want the baked in patterns. Anyway, that is the Prime 8. Let's try some more sounds. Let's go with ambient, or you know what? Let's go with the 808 classics. So this is Super 7, and as you can see, it's actually a combined kind of instrument. We have rhythm, we have bass, we have melody, synth, and synth 2, synth 3. Let's just play something here. So I'm going to double click in and select, let's go with this one, and now I'm just going to play a note. Right, and as I play the chords or the notes, the instrument will follow, and there are so many cool sounds here. Now, what you can also do is go inside each of these sounds and design them, and we'll get started with the rhythm. So you'll see this cogwheel here, click that one, and you'll see the drums. So we have kick, snare, hi-hat, all of that, but we also have presets. Again, I cover all of that in a separate video, but you can click this, get some other types of presets, and then again, you can go and drag and drop this to your DAW and then tweak it as you wish. And that's pretty easy and very, very useful again. So next, if you go into the bass, for example, so we're going to close this one, and we'll go into the bass, you'll see that we actually have sort of two parts to this window. First, on the top, we have the actual sound, and we have presets, we have the sounds. We can do whatever we want here, but on the bottom, we have an arpeggiator. And that was something people asked me a few times, you know, how do you just get rid of the arpeggiator because you want to use the sounds solo? So very easy. You see this on button here, and now, and let me solo the bass and width. And again, as usual with UVI, you can go with the presets here, and there are so many patterns. So you can just go and use this as just a bass machine for whatever song you're making. You don't have to use the melody and the other synth and the drums. You can just use this on its own. And that goes the same for the synth and the melody and everything else. So you have the sounds here. So what I suggest, again, let's just go with some more examples. Let's go with ambient cloud, going for the first one. So I already covered Program 24 in my channel, but of course, let's have a quick listen. And it has the same idea as Super 7. Let's try something else. Let's go with Synthwave. And just to let you know, I mean, Program 24 was, again, unique or very rare kind of instrument, like Italian disco kind of instrument. So you can use it for that, but it definitely can use it for anything else. Right, and we have the same idea here. If I'll go into the drums, you'll see that we have the drum mixer, but we also have the presets, we have the kit selection here, and we also have the option to use this as just a MIDI generator. You can just click this MIDI here, and again, drag that into my DAW and use it, you know, any way I like. Also, that's again very easy, and that is program 24. So let's jump over to something else. Let's go with Emulation 2 Plus. And you get the idea. We have this sequencer, very easy to program. If you want more bass drums and you want to have like more of those hats here, rim shots. So that's the idea. Let's try another one. Let's go with Chill House. Right, and let's go back now to Emulation 2 Plus. So we have Emulation 1, 2, and 3. Let's see what we've got with the keyboards. Right, and you can see that we have the amplitude here. That's the ADSR amplitude, and then we have a filter, we have pitch and voice. On the bottom we have vibrato, tremolo, and filter LFOs, and that's pretty much it. And then you can turn on the ARP and even edit that. And again, lots of categories and lots of patterns already included. Let's try some other sounds. So we can try, for example, some basses. Let's go with double bass. And again, I can go into the edit mode here, and let's try and find some bass lines and go with that. Cool. And next, let's try some more sounds. We have voices. Let's go with female voices. More sounds. Let's try some synth sounds like these strings. And turn on the arpeggiator. Get something interesting like instrument phrases. Let's go with some more sounds. And that is Emulation 1. Let's go with Emulation 2. Go with 80s iconic. Let's see what that is. ARP filter pop. Right, and again, can turn on the arpeggiator and try to find something interesting. Let's see what we have with banded sequences. Catchy. Now, I'm not going too deep here to how to program this arpeggiator, but you can see there's a lot of things that you can do here, a lot. This is not a simple just arpeggiator up and down. You can actually get some very cool stuff here. And so again, if you want to learn more, you can check the user manual or let me know and maybe we'll dive into that one. So going back to some of the presets, let's try Wooden Wind. Right, and it's all sampled, so it's very, very close to the original. Maybe it is the sound of the original. And by the way, if you didn't know, in the workstation, which is free again, you can go into the effects. Right now it's all empty, and you can click this plus effects and add more effects on top of whatever you have. Right, and I can add some vibrato, and it's right now set to the wheel, so it means the mod wheel. The same goes for the tremolo and the filter LFO. Let's turn it on, get some depth. And we have this filter, we can turn it on, cut off. Right, let's try some more sounds, and let's go with emulation 3. So we have guitars, for example. And that is pretty cool. So that is emulation 2 plus. I know we didn't have a chance to go into all the sounds and everything, but there are so many things in Vintage Vault 4 that it's just impossible to cover. So next one that is new in Vintage Vault 4 will be the PX memories. So this is the PX memories. Let's see what we have. So double clicking on the browser, you'll see that we have, again, lots of categories, and then you just select whatever preset. Pretty cool. Let's try another one. Right, and we have 2 programs here, so we can just go and try something else and just mess around with the sounds. And we have this ARP here, and again the same goes. So we have this drop down here, lots of categories, and you can just get inspired. So we have one arpeggiator for the first voice and for the other one, and you can just do whatever. And let's see some more sounds. So we have plaque sounds, Crystalia. Let's see what that is. Next one is Beat Zone. Let's see what that is all about. So again, this is an odd vintage synth, which I have no idea where it comes from. So if you know anything about this one, let me know. Right, and let's see what kind of presets we have. So we have animated ARP. Well, it's pretty cool. Let's go with this one, old fashioned. Nice. Let's see what kind of basses we can get here. So I'll go with the first one. And again, we have few other views, few other tabs. So we have the main tab here, the main view. We have 2 layers, and you can see the sound routing and going into the layer mixer here, and then we have amplitude and filter, but then we can also go with edit. We have some voicing, pitching, we have modulations like step modulator, LFO, we have the routing here on the bottom, Then we have some effects. So we have EQ, drive, Torus, which is, I guess, the in-house UVI Torus, and then ensemble. We can just turn them on. And then we have reverb and delay, and also you get whatever comes with the workstation, right? So it's pretty cool. Next, let's have a look at Hybrid 6000. We also have, of course, the rhythm, bass, melody, synth 1, 2, and 3, and this is really something that looks similar to the Super 7 and Program 24. So if you go into the edit here, you'll see the same idea again as Program 24 and Super 7. You'll see the kick, the snare, and all of that. Then you have the presets here to just select anything, and then we have the kit selection, and we have the rhythm selection, so you can actually change everything. Let's just solo. So I'm going to solo the drums. And we can try different, let's try different presets here. And again, pretty cool, the fact that you can actually drag and drop the MIDI, same as with the other tools. So I'm just gonna click this and then drag it to my DAW. And so for the other instruments, again, if you click the edit button here, you'll see that the top is the sound, that's the voice. And then on the bottom, we have the arpeggiator, and you can turn off the arpeggiator. You can solo this instrument and just play it solo and use it any way you like. Right, and we can change the sound. So we have the preset here, but I can also get a preset and then different sounds. And we can go to the melody and again solo that. And if you want to play it just as a melody, right, and that is the Hybrid 6000. Let's try some more presets. Let's go with Techno House. Next one, Bliss. So all these instruments like the Super 7, Program 24, the Hybrid 6000, they are all very useful to get you going, to get you started, get inspired, and then you can use that any way you like. You don't have to use the baked-in patterns. You can solo, you can grab the MIDI parts for the drums, and that is a great way to sort of get started with a track. Next, let's try the Sandbox. Let's listen to some other. And again, we have the arpeggiator here. We can turn it on and off. We have the edit modes here to edit the voicings and tuning. And we also have modulations with LFOs and other routing options. We have effects. And it is two-layer instrument, so we have the top layer here and then we have the bottom one, and we can just flick through the presets here and we have the programs. Then of course we have the, everything routed, and we have the amplitude here, the envelope for the amp, filter. So everything is pretty simple, and I'm not going too deeply into that. If you're new or you don't know much about synthesizers or instruments like that, then it's really something you should go and learn, because it's very, very useful to know how to use filters and envelopes. If you're looking for more information in my channel, you'll find on both of them, on filter envelopes and on amp envelopes, and generally speaking on synthesis and virtual instruments. So there's a lot of things that you can learn very fast, and that will give you so much more tools than just using the presets. So that is the that is the sandbox, but I think we need to listen to some more. Let's try this one. Let's try some of the pads, for example. Very cool. Let's see what we've got with animated one key. That's sounds very interesting. And let's try something else. Let's go with the leads. Just the first one. Another one. Very cool. So I think what we'll do now is go and explore a few more instruments, and you guys let me know in the comments if there's any particular instrument you want me to go and cover in much more depth. Otherwise, I'm just gonna flick through some of the presets and enjoy the sounds, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. And that's it. So thank you and bye-bye. Let's go with sweeps. Very cool. Let's try this polysynth. Nice. All right. So many instruments. Just don't know what. Well, let's go with energy. And we have the arpeggiator here. We can just turn it off. We can edit. Let's turn it on and can just draw in. Very nice. So that is energy. Let's try something else. Let's see. Well, we also have the FM suite. So in the FM suite, we have the FMX 400, the ADP, the GS, the FM K1, 2, XL. So let's just go with some of the sounds that we can find in this really interesting package. Very cool. Let's try another one. And what we can do also, we have animated step. Just going for the first one. Very nice. Let's try some of the pads. DeepMind. And let's try the next instrument. We have the FMX ADP. Again, I'll just go with the first one just to get some sense of the sounds. Right, and we can see that we have 2 oscillators and then steel drums, ultra short wood xylophone. Very nice, addictive. And so let's try something else. Let's go with plugs, going for the first one. Yeah, let's go with something completely different. Let's see the JP Legacy. And again, here we have few instruments. We have the Mercury 80, we have Saturn 4, 6, and 8. So I'm not going into every one of them. Let's start with the animated ARP. Let's see what that is. And again, we have two oscillators, we have the programs here, we have some very basic controls like the amp envelope, and we have the filter with its envelope, some edits that we can do here for vibrato, tremolo, and filter. We have modulations, which we can draw, and effects, and eventually we have the arpeggiator. And yeah, that sounds really great. Let's try some more. Let's see what we've got with the PX V8, and I'm going with this. Well, let's do flashback 1, animated ARP. Nice, let's try another one. Right, and well, I think I'm going for, well, let's see what we've got with this U1250. So we have this, well, let's try the first one here. Acoustic and electric piano. Nice. So what else we have? We have concert piano. I mean, this is, well, it, as they say, it is inspired by the first Romplers. So like the K250 and K1000. So, well, let's try some more. Electric Dream. Right, so these are sample-based instruments, of course. So let's see, orchestra, action strings. And let's try the pads. And maybe last I'll go with well, the Vector Pro. Let's see what that is. Well, 3-instrument suite. Delivered huge palette of vector synthesis. So indeed we have the Vector Pro 22, VS, and VX. Let's go with the first one, and I'm going, well, let's go with voices. And let's go with guitars, distortion. Nice. And we also have leads. Nice. And let's try something from the Vector Pro VS. And again, there are so many things here inside, like the arpeggiator. We can go into the edit. I mean, we are in the edit mode here. We can go and turn on and off the arpeggiator. Well, we have effects, of course. We have the modulations here. So we see the step modulator here. We can just program that. And well, I think this is going to be the last one. I hope you enjoy this one. Of course, there are so many sounds. Each instrument is an entire world of its own. And so there's so much I can do in one video. So let me know again if there's anything specific you want to see, and we'll dive into that in a separate video. And that's it. So, and I'll see you guys in the next videos. Thanks and bye-bye.